Good evening. My name is Mel McCarthy. I'm the Director of Recruitment and Admissions at Richmond at the American International University. I'm going to give you a short presentation, which will take about 20 minutes or so, and I'll just cover details about the university, about our undergraduate courses and postgraduate courses. After that, you'll have an opportunity to ask me questions in the question and answer section, and I will respond to your questions. You should have an interface with a chatting interface just on your screen there. So moving on to my next slide. Why Richmond? So Richmond is the only institution in the UK which has dual accreditation. That means that you get a UK and a US degree. We're a small university. We have small class sizes. We have a liberal arts approach for our undergraduate education, and we have a professional approach for our postgraduate education. We offer a range of scholarships, which I'll tell you about. We have accommodation on campus, and we have campuses in Richmond and in Kensington and central London. Why London? Well, London is a very exciting place. So first of all, we have a very big Turkish community, so you'll feel right at home when you come to London. It's a truly global city and a global community. Thousands of museums and galleries and things, and lots of societies and clubs for every interest. Our campuses are based in Richmond Hill. Richmond is where all our undergraduates' first-year programs are carried out, and that's about 20 minutes from the centre of the city. And Kensington is pretty much in the centre of the city, and that's where all of our other undergraduate students and master's students study. You'll see a list in front of you of our programs. These are ranging from economics, film photography, international history, international relations, marketing, political science, psychology, etc. And these are our master's programs: advertising and public relations, luxury brand management, the MBA, marketing and human resource management. These are popular programs for us. The structure of masters, I'll just focus on masters, is typically it's an academic orientation. It includes an internship. Obviously, assessment consists of in-class presentations, reports, and examinations. And your contact hours per semester are 45 hours. That's typically about 9 to 12 hours a week, taking 3 modules in each semester, plus a dissertation. Duration of the program, of the master's program, is typically either 1 year or 18 months long. If you do an internship, it can be 18 months long. We start in September and January, and it's located in Kensington. Our undergraduate programs are actually 4 years long. They also contain an internship and also start in September and January. Accommodation, we provide on-campus accommodation. The price ranges from £3,300 per semester to £6,400 per semester, depending on your choice of accommodation. We also include meals in our accommodation, so the costs indicated include 18 meals a week. Additionally, you've got laundry, Wi-Fi, cleaning, and gym facilities. We also offer internship. So all of our master's students typically do an internship. You'll see listed some of the companies with which we've placed students in the past: the V&A Museum, IHS, the South Falcon, etc. Undergraduate students typically will do their internship in the 3rd or 4th year studies, and the postgraduate student will typically take their internship in the 3rd semester of study, typically the summer. Scholarships and finance options. Okay, so we offer a range of scholarships, and I'll cover these in some details in a second. So these are our scholarships for Turkey. So they're obviously merit-based. So if you do, and you're an undergraduate and you do very well, you want to study for an undergraduate degree and you have illicit diplomacy, if you get 65%, you have a presidential scholarship of 65%. 70%, it's 3,000, and so it goes. And this amount is deducted from the tuition fee, which for undergraduate students is £14,500. If you're a postgraduate student and you have a licence diplomacy, and you've completed university. For our MBA program, it's there listed. For example, if you have achieved the 3.0, you get £2,400 scholarship, and so on and so forth. We can talk about that in a little while. So if you're an undergraduate student, you would apply for UCAS typically. I don't know, you can ask me questions about that later. And if you're a postgraduate student, you can apply directly to the university. Our tuition fees for undergraduate study are £14,750. For masters, £2,250, and for the MBA, £16,000. Luxury band management, £21,000. And again, as I covered in the previous slide, if you obtain certain grades in your license diplomacy or your degree, obviously you would get that amount deducted from study. Obviously, you would need to apply for us to consider your application. You would need to complete an application form and a personal statement, which is usually about 500 words. You could also include a curriculum vitae or resume, proof of bachelor's degree or your diplomacy, and your English language results. Our IELTS requirements for postgraduate study are minimum of 6.0 with 5.5, going up to 6.5 with 6.0. And for undergraduate study, it's 5.5 with 5.5 in each component. Our basic requirements for admission is a 2.0 if you are applying for postgraduate study, and it's 60% if you are applying for undergraduate study in your high school diploma. Additionally, obviously, I covered this detail already. You need to write a personal statement, typically reference somebody who was able to comment on your academic suitability, official school transcripts, and obviously your English language test score when you have that in hand. Just alerting you to some webinars that we will be having sort of in the coming months. So we will have a webinar about the MBA, which will give you an opportunity to meet our MBA director on the 3rd of June, and so on and so forth. Advertising PR on the 3rd of June also. International relations, all pretty much on the same day at 4 p.m. GMT. You can contact us and register for those. We also have a Turkish speaker on our staff who will be able to help you, Siren Miles, and she can be reached at turkey@richmond.ac.uk. And also on WhatsApp with the number provided, and I can play with further details there when we have our question and answers. Okay, thank you for listening today. I meant that I've gone through that a lot faster than I wanted to. I was expecting to go slightly slower, but I'm happy to take any questions that you have in relation to the presentation and the programs that we offer at Richmond, the American University. If you have any questions at all, you can type them here in the questions box. Okay.
Mel, you don't need to type. You can type their answers if it's easier for you.
Okay. Yeah, they're typing in the chat box, which is fine. It's working out okay. Yeah. Yeah, that seems to be working fine.
Okay.
Selson, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, the presentation, I got a question. Will you share the presentation with these students, or can I share it with them? How does that work?
You share them with them. We can send you their email addresses, or you can directly take their email address and contact with them.
Okay. I'll do that. Okay, right. Okay, just one student said she just arrived and didn't see the presentation. Okay, that's okay.
And after the webinar ends, there will be a video, so she can stay on the same link and watch the video.
Okay, all right, that's great. Okay. Okay. Oh, sorry. I wasn't aware that you could actually hear me here, but your question was about whether we offered PhDs in education, and I'm afraid we don't. But I recommend that you could look at the Institute of Education, for example, for that. Okay. If you have any other questions, I wasn't aware that you could hear me, but that's good if you can. You can certainly get ask me questions. More questions, keep them coming. If you have any questions, I see there's 11 of you out there. So please go ahead with your questions, and I'll be happy to answer them. In our presentation, if you missed that, you be aware that you can actually look at this webinar again. There's a recording of it within which there's the presentation. I covered some basic details about the scholarship program, the scholarships that we offer. These are merit-based scholarships, depending on the grade that you achieve in your high school diploma or in your undergraduate degree if you're a postgraduate student. Some of the questions coming in are about IELTS. Our IELTS requirements are, again, for postgraduate study, it's a minimum of 6.0 with 5.5. We have some programs where it's 6.5 with 6.0 in each component. For undergraduate study, it's 5.5 overall with 5.5 in speaking, reading, listening, and writing. Just had a question there about SATs and do we accept, is it possible to waive IELTS? Generally speaking, for students who are not native speakers of English and coming from outside of the European Union in particular, it is obligatory to have either an IELTS or a TOEFL IBT or Pearson's academic test of English. So we accept all of those. You'll be aware, for example, that it's possible with TOEFL IBT to, if you have a lockdown situation in Turkey, which I'm sure you do, like we have here, it's possible to take TOEFL. They have a home edition of that, and I believe IELTS also have a home edition of their test as well, in which it's possible to actually sit it from your home, your computer and audio technology which they can supply for you. Do you have any other questions there? Don't hesitate to put them in the questions box, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. Would you like me to run through the, just you can indicate by saying yes, here we go, the presentation again? Yes, you do. Yeah. So some of the questions we get, for example, I'll just go through the part of the presentation, the difference between the duration of the undergraduate program and also the master's programs. So for the master's programs, they are typically 1 year or 18 months long. So that's a choice that you can make. The 18-month version is longer because it consists of a slightly longer internship and more academic work. And the shorter version is done in 1 year, which is fairly typical, over 3 semesters. So what you have is 2 semesters of class and assessment, and 1 semester of the final semester in which you do an internship, but you also write a dissertation. The 18-month version, length version, is slightly different insofar as you have 2 semesters. You have a whole longer duration for your internship, and then you have a final semester for your dissertation. So effectively, it's more like 4 semesters rather than 3 semesters. Some students prefer to do it in 3 semesters. It's certainly to do it that way, and some students prefer to do it over a longer period of time. Undergraduate programs, obviously, they are 4 years long, starting with a generic first year and then a specialized second, third, and fourth year. The entrance requirements for the undergraduate program are you would need to have 60% in your high school. You'd also need to have IELTS 6.0 with 5.5. And again, the range of subjects there are business, primarily international business, finance, psychology, international relations, political science, management. And additionally, there are communications degrees in media studies, film and photography, etc. You can find out about all of that information from our website, and we'll be happy to send you some further details after this presentation. But keep your questions coming if you have, okay, I can see a question that's come in there about scholarships. Okay. Bear with me on the scholarship. I'm going to cut and paste some information in about that. If you'll just bear with me. Okay, postgraduate scholarships, first of all. Sure. I'm going to send you a web link on that. It will be much easier for you to see. Okay. So I seem to have lost you there. Where I put it in. Okay, just putting the information up about the scholarships. It'll just be a web link, and you can ask me questions about that. And I'll just talk you through them. So the requirements for the scholarship, you're going to be able to hear me, or you don't see me now. So for the MBA, if you get a GPA of 3.0, it's 2,400. And if you have a GPA of 2.5, it's 1,600. The other programs, they're between £2,000 and £1,325. And for MA Luxury Brand Management, it's £3,000, between £3,000 and £2,000. Again, depending, the higher amounts are for those with GPAs of 3.0, and the slightly lower amounts are those with GPAs of 2.5. And for undergraduates, okay, okay, let me just help you with that. Again, if you can hear me, you can just let me know. So again, there are 4 bands here for the undergraduate scholarships. So starting with 65%, that's £2,000, and then they go up to 4,750. But if you are eligible for 4,750, you would need to have obtained at least 80% in your lycée diplomatie. Let me see if I can copy and paste some of this stuff into the box there. Maybe not. We'll give it a try. No, that won't work. Okay, I'm just going to do plain text. So I'm going to type in my answer here as well, so you see it. But you can also go and look on the website, and you'll see it broken down in much more detail. Okay, any other questions there? We just had some questions about scholarships. I've kind of sent a link out for the scholarships, and again, I can just quickly cover those there. I'm just going to go off screen. So for undergraduate study, or tuition fee for undergraduate study is $14,750 per year. If you obtain between 65% and 80% in your lycée diplomatie, there are scholarships available starting at 65% at £2,000, which is deducted from the tuition fee, and they go up in increments of £3,000, £3,750, and £4,750. So for 70%, 75%, and 80%. So you have a range of scholarships there. And in the master's programs, again, it's grade dependent between 3.0, which is for the higher scholarship amounts, and 2.5 for the slightly lower scholarship amounts. Okay, that's it. Do you have any other questions there? Any other questions? that I can help with. Once again, the presentation I covered just a basic introduction of our undergraduate programs and also our postgraduate programs. The postgraduate programs we have a portfolio of postgraduate programs in MBA. We have 2 MBA specializations, one of which is human resource management, second which is marketing. We have a program in luxury brand management and also art and history. I'll be happy to run through the presentation again if you all have time to watch that. I don't know if all of you have just come in. If you'd like me to run through the presentation, it doesn't take that long. I'm happy to do that. Just indicate yes in the chat section, and I can go ahead and do that if you wish, or if you have any specific questions about the university, its location, the programs, etc., etc. I'd be happy to help with those too.
Mel, thank you very much for your participation.
Okay, yeah, I think I've covered the questions there.
Yeah, everything seems like it's covered. But if there is any other questions, they can definitely get in touch with you personally on your email.
Yep, that's yeah. Okay, that's great. Okay, and I've given them the contact details in the presentation as well. We do actually have if they're still listening, we have a Turkish speaker who actually is behind an email, turkey@richmond.ac.uk, Shedin, and she'll be happy to answer any questions in Turkish as well.
Perfect.
She's based in Izmir.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care.